The city breathes at night, doesn't it? A symphony of sirens, distant laughter, and the murmur of countless lives intertwined. But what if that symphony was masking a far more sinister chorus? What if the shadows weren't empty, and the stories you dismiss as urban legends were, in fact, the last thing you heard? The fluorescent lights of the day finally surrendered to the encroaching darkness, and Ramon felt the familiar ache of exhaustion settle deep in his bones. $8.74. Enough for a greasy cheeseburger and a mountain of fries, a small victory in a life defined by scarcity. The overpass loomed ahead, a concrete canopy offering a fragile sense of shelter. His tent wasn't much, a patched-up nylon cocoon, but it was his hiss. It kept the rain off, the wind at bay, and for a few precious hours it offered a semblance of peace. But tonight, the city felt different. A low, unsettling hum vibrated in the air, prickling the hairs on the back of his neck. He started hearing noises, distant, guttural sounds carried on the wind. At first, he dismissed them as the usual urban cacophony. Dogs barking, maybe, or the rumble of a late-night truck. But as he walked, the sounds became more distinct. They weren't barks, not exactly. More like growls. Deep, resonant growls that seemed to burrow into his very core. His mind, a wellspring of paranoia born from years spent living on the fringes, conjured the old stories. Whispers passed between the homeless community, tales of invisible dogs, phantom predators that stalked the streets at night, preying on the vulnerable. Urban myths, he's always told himself. Just stories to scare people. But the growing rumble of those growls, they sounded awfully real. A wave of cold dread washed over him, constricting his chest. He picked up his pace, his footsteps echoing hollowly on the pavement. The growls intensified, carrying on the wind like a predatory promise. They were closer now, undeniably so. The air grew thick with a musky odor, something primal and unsettling. He strained his ears, trying to pinpoint the source of the sound, a cold sweat forming on his forehead. The shadows seemed to deepen, twisting into grotesque shapes in the periphery of his vision. A frantic pulse pounded in his ears, drowning out the sounds of the city. He was about to break into a run, to abandon any pretense of composure, when he rounded a corner toward the overpass. He stopped dead. 4 men stood between him and his meager shelter. They didn't look like they belonged here, their clothes too clean, their posture too confident, their eyes gleaming with a disturbing casualness. The way they held themselves, that unsettling combination of confidence and menace, spoke of a world he'd never known. A world of power and privilege and cruelty. The city never truly sleeps. And some things aren't meant to be seen or heard or even acknowledged. They simply are.